Hey friends, today I'm showing you how to use watercolor stippling to paint 3 simple and beautiful flowers. We're going to paint a poppy, a lavender, and a hydrangea. If you've never tried stippling before, it's basically just using your brush to make a bunch of little dots or touches of texture to build form, color, and depth. It's really super relaxing and you can get really creative with it. So before we jump into the flowers, let me show you a real quick how to actually do stippling with watercolor. So I'm starting with a small round brush, this one's a size 1, and I'm holding it straight up and down perpendicular to the paper, and then I'm using just the tip of the brush to gently tap for those little dots, and then you can make them light or dark, spread them out super close together, it's totally up to you. And then you can tilt the brush just slightly and press a little harder, and that gives me some different shaped dots, more like soft blobs. And then we can go in with different brushes. So this is a size 6, it's a little bit larger. So of course it's going to cover more area and it gives me a fatter blob when I press down. It's perfect for things like the little lavender petals that we're going to do, or fuzzy textures. I like to think of it as stamping, press and lift, press and lift. You can also layer the colors and get these really beautiful bleeds and blends, especially if you add a little bit more water. If you let the first layer dry and then go back in, you'll get more depth and definition. And then I'm using this third brush here. It has a sharper point and it's got a little bit more bounce to it, and that gives me a different feel when I tap it on the page. Think of this like watercolor pointillism, but without the pen. Alright, now that we've got the basics down, let's get into our first flower. We're going to paint a poppy. So I'm just painting 4 loose petals, nothing super realistic. You can do 4 or 5 petals, whatever feels good for you. I'm painting them in a bright orangey red and letting the edges stay kind of soft, and I'm leaving that center white for now because we're going to come back to that. I'm just going to touch up my petals until I'm happy with them. You can go back in and drop in some more color if you want on the edges or on the inside, and just shape them how you like. You know, they're very translucent petals, so you can also overlap them if you have patience and let this dry. Next, I'm going to go in and I'm going to paint a thin, wiggly little stem. Mix up some sap green and yellow ochre to get this color. And poppies like to dance, so it is wiggly. And then I'm going to add in a bud, because buds are always fun to add to painting, especially since these buds are fuzzy, so these will be perfect for stippling. And I'm just going to kind of reshape that bud a little bit, make it happier. Usually I do them drooping, but I just felt like having one going up, and I'm just gonna pull out this stem a bit, and then once I'm happy with the way this looks and everything's all dry, then we're gonna go back into that center where that white is and fill that in with a little green circle. Now it's time to stipple as that dries. So I went in with a bright lemon yellow, very opaque, and these little dots that radiate from the stamen, they're usually yellow or black on poppies, but we're going with yellow today. And I'm just adding these little tiny dots all around, and you just tap, 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 and that's all there is to it. And until you're happy. And then I'm just going to do a little cross hatch, like crisscrosses right in the center, just to give this stamen some structure. And now I'll add some little lines to connect those dots to the stamen. And now we can go into the stem and the bud, and we're going to add some fuzzies on there. So I'm mixing up the same mixture, a little bit of yellow ochre with sap green, a little bit darker, and we're just tapping all along the stem just to make these little tiny lines, and I'm pressing and lifting kind of like mini flicks, and we're doing this all the way up the stem and on the bud too, so you can do it on the actual front of the stem and then off to the side so it looks fuzzy. So you see how it's on the side there and they're like sticking out, and I'm just going to draw lines on the bud, and I'm just going to do little tiny dots on the actual bud, and then the little like shorter lines. And you can also use this, it's not just for flowers, you can use this to build shadows, add highlights, or create some soft textures. So we add a little bit of shadow on that bud. Okay, flower number 2, we're going to do lavender. So I'm painting a few long skinny stems, and I'm leaving some gaps in so I can add in the flowers in between there. Some will overlap, some will go in the white space. Then I'm adding these long narrow leaves that come up from the base of the plant, and they sort of branch off the stems. And I'm just gonna play around with that until I'm happy with the composition. So for these I used Hooker's green mostly for the leaves, and then I mixed up some sap green and yellow ochre again, or added some yellow ochre to the Hooker's green just to deepen up the stems a bit. So play around with whatever colors that you want, but in case you wanted to know. And now for the fun part, we're using that larger brush again, like we did in the demo, and I'm pressing it down quickly to stamp the flower shapes along each stem. So these little press and lift moves give you instant lavender texture. I'm using a mix of purples and blues, so some dioxazine violet, cobalt blue, and some permanent rose, and I'm just mixing that up. And I'm using a light wash, and I'm going back and forth between colors. You can see that there's not just one color. And then I'm doing a little bit of dotting in the background, a little bit different. And this is going to make those ones appear further back. Same with using a light wash once we start layering dark color on top. And you can see this color is a little bit darker and you can overlap on top of those flowers there. And that's what we're going to keep doing. We're just going to keep on building layers. You want to make sure that each layer is dry before you go on to the next. Like right here, I'm adding in some color within the blobs, which is fine. But if you just keep doing this, you're not going to really get any depth. But you see here how I add this really dark color on top. It's like almost pure dioxazine violet. Now you're really starting to get depth. So you can do this technique fully, but you can still build depth and still build something that looks almost realistic. You know, these are meant to be a little bit loose, so we're having fun, but you can really build depth. And then once you have this down, you can also go in once it's fully dry, and you can also start adding in details. Next, we're going to go on to our hydrangea. So this one is super fun because it starts with a very light circular wash of color, and I'm using a soft mix of blue and purple, and I'm just kind of letting it flow. You don't want one flat color, you want some variation. And I have a little hair stuck in there, so I'm going to use a paper towel to lift it, which is fine because this is going to help us add a little bit more variation in there. So once I have this first layer here, and then I'm going to start dropping in some darker colors. So I just kind of want to get this shape. I don't want it to be perfectly circle, but then I'm using some darker blues, like ultramarine blue here, and then I'm going to drop in, that actually might be cobalt blue actually, but either way. And then we're going to drop in some violet in there if you want. You can do this in a pink hydrangea and add some purples and dark pinks. But I just want my base layer first to be interesting. I don't want it to just be flat and boring because that base is going to be peeking through with this technique. So keep that in mind. And as I let that dry, I'm just going to go in and paint in my stems and my big juicy hydrangea leaves. And we're just going to wait for that to dry, and we have no patience, so we're letting it dry a little bit more. And now I'm going in and I'm just sort of making these little clusters of dots for flower petals. So some of these flowers will appear like they're more flowers than they are dots or dabs. So this is just suggesting that this is a cluster of flowers and not just a cluster of dots. So some dots are darker blue or purple, and then I'm kind of placing them together in areas where I want more definition. And again, layering is key here. So once we have those that stand out, then we're going to go into those spaces around, and we're just going to sort of blot and dab, blot and dab. And you see how we're just like tapping, tapping, tapping. And that's literally how we're building up these petals in a sense, because you don't have a super realistic flower here, but you're giving it the idea of it, and that's kind of why it's a loose. And again, drying and waiting for those layers to dry is key, and then building on top. So again, I'm just gonna give the idea of some flowers, and I'm painting in quick 4 or 5 petals, and then they all have little dots in the centers of the petal of the flowers. So we're doing that, and I love to finish by adding a very light wash of petals around my flower and fill in any spots that might need it, and just add my final little touches. And now as that dries, I will go back in and add my details in my leaves, because I am going to also go back in and with some gouache and pull out some more details in the flowers with stippling. So I want to just add in some details into the leaves, just adding those, obviously those little lines, fixing up this little spot here before it drives me crazy. And then I'm just going to mix up a little lemon yellow gouache and some white ink. You can use white gouache. I just really want this to pop, and I'm just stippling around that poppy center again, just over top where I put the watercolor to really, really make it pop. And I'm also going to tap a few tiny dots on the petals themselves, and this is going to be like a little pollen. So there's little tiny, tiny, tiny little dots. You see them there? They're like on the petals. I'm also going to tap a few tiny dots along the stems to suggest highlights, like the little hairs catching light, because if you know what a poppy looks like, you know those little fuzzies catch light and they're shiny. So you could use this to add highlights as well. You can also use a really super tiny brush or a liner brush to get these dots really tiny if you want. I'm going to use a liner brush on the center again just to really bring that out on the stamen and those lines. And then I'm also going to put some details in the petals because, like I said earlier, you can build upon this. It could be your base and then you can still put details in, like with this lavender. So lavender petals often have these little buds or like these vertical marks that you can hint at with a couple of these little strokes. Totally optional, but it's a nice detail if you want something a little bit more realistic. I'm just going to do little dots on here and just totally up to you, whatever you want. There are no rules. I feel like you can put little dots in your hydrangea. You can go in with little white dots for the centers if you want to add more realism to it. And that's why these kind of paintings are so much fun, because they can stay loose and whimsical, or you can take it a step further and add more detail on top of it. And that's it for now. 3 simple flowers made with watercolor stippling. I would love to know which one was your favorite. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because tomorrow I'm showing you some really fun ways to paint with sponges. I'll see you then.